Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners. Back again, we got to get that off the screen so we don't get the stream shut down. This is the Saturday live session of the Miller Park Minute podcast. We come at you every day, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We already got somebody in. Welcome in. Hello, Richard. Good member of the podcast. Ooh, come on. Oh, my God. So I was supposed to be coming on to a 4-0 and, 4-1. It was 4-1, right? At the start of this. And, of course, that's not how it proceeded. But that's okay. I'd be late to my own funeral, just so you know. I think 4 o'clock is supposed to be the time that I start these shows every Saturday, but today I am late. I was eating lunch and watching the game outside. I have a nice little patio where we have an inflatable hot tub, not a fancy hot tub. And I was just kind of watching the crew, eating some lunch, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock already. So I'm going to get caught up here and find out what happened, unless someone would like to tell me that in the comments. What happened here? Just a shame. Richard, you're beating my butt in fantasy, and I'm not happy about it. I'm playing your game. I'm playing the dirty. So Richard is a good fantasy player, but he likes to add and subtract players almost on the daily. Oh, Votto hit a 3-run dinger. Okay, thank you for catching me up. It's Votto. I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, we've played this team very well so far, so I can't. And we're using two of our best starters so far this season. So, but Richard is doing me dirty right now, and I'm a little upset about it. And his fantasy strategy is DFA him every day. And I'll do respect. I do appreciate the strategy because that takes a lot of being into it. I've just kind of let my guys play so far, and they've gotten me to, what am I, 13-0? 13-0, and Richard is in serious contention to knock me out of that. And I ain't going down without a fight. I'm not going down without a fight, Richard. This is me saying right now that the tombstone is coming, and I'm opening that casket. And I hope you get that reference. You're fine. I was totally joking, man. It's good. It's all in good. You're knocking me off my game this week, and it was kind of funny because I was just kind of looking at it, and I'm like, God, man, this guy is taking the rules of fantasy to the utmost, and it's a good thing. There's no rules against it right now. Maybe in future there might be, but not right now. So I don't actually know how to change those rules. I don't know how to change any of the rules. I was going to add a DH, or not a DH. I was going to add an IL spot so you could like save 2 pitchers, for instance, or something. I have Cheetos on my fingers. But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I wanted to add that earlier this season, and I never got around to it. So the crew today, Willie Adames is not going to be denied on this home run leaderboard. And it's kind of great because maybe Willie's getting it back a little bit, and I'm okay with that. I am glad to see Willie get it back. This team is firing at the right time. I think one of the big pieces of this whole adventure that we're going through this season, and we'll call it an adventure, is that we have day in and day out a very dynamic, different team. Much to the strategy, and I bring you up, Richard, and this is actually leading into my topic of the show today. we have used everybody and anybody this season to create the team that we have, to get where we are, to get to this spot of second place, game out, fighting out with the Reds. We have used everybody and anybody. The call-ups, send-downs, DFAs are the regular right now for the Milwaukee Brewers. A couple weeks ago, a guy named Ramal Tapia came to the team. Colin Ray came into the rotation when we lost Brandon Woodruff. And part of this is that dynamic mentality. I mean, if there's anyone that I play fantasy baseball with that has the dynamic mentality, it's Richard Gilbert. I mean, this guy is a stud when it comes to dynamically changing in and out his players. He has no love loss for anybody. He picked up De La Cruz because he heard De La Cruz was coming up. De La Cruz? Not De La Cruz. Ellie Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz. Is that his name? The Hot Reds batter. Fresh prospect. And that's good. I mean, we're playing the hot hand. Obviously, we picked up Julio Teheran, who was a guy who I always love when they show a look at Council's face. But, Ramal Tapia was a guy who we added. Julio Teheran, these aren't guys that were supposed to be in the team. I was actually talking with another regular listener of the show yesterday, and I was talking about how, this thing really hasn't gone as planned. We were hoping that we would be able to use Frelick. Winker would be a more of an outfield position instead of just batting, but unfortunately his age is just shown, and that's the thing. We're sitting here at the All-Star break, game away, fighting out for first place, which we can come back and win. I'm not too worried. I keep looking over my shoulder, but I'm just more or less curious. I mean, everybody's had their hot streaks too. You look at how good Brian Anderson was for a time frame. And how good Christian Yelich has been this whole season. With the exception of the first few weeks, Christian Yelich is Christian Yelich, and that's what we expect. Everybody kind of rags on him and rags on the guys as they don't do well. But let me tell you, I am so happy to have a guy like Christian Yelich on this team, and I enjoy that we're playing this brand of baseball right now. I try to look at stats and go from there. It's not guaranteed that every player will do good once they get called up. Yeah, and that's true. It's true. Like, that's the game we're in. If you look at, here's a great example. I titled this Corbin Burns All-Star Brewers Live. Corbin Burns got named to the All-Star game. Corbin Burns has been plenty good, but he wasn't first selection All-Star. Because a number of players are not able to play, Corbin Burns gets to go to another All-Star game. And that's kind of how the system works. I mean, Christian Yelich potentially could still go to another All-Star game. He's been one of those players that constantly performs at a top-ish level. I mean, he's not the best of the best, but he's still, I would name him in the conversation with guys like, Mookie and, these outfielders. I mean, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll, Christian Yelich. He's one of these guys, and he hasn't fallen off. And I think that's a huge part of it. Is he's been coming out there consistently every day. I'm just watching on the second screen. I'm watching replays because they run the highlights on the MLB page, and that's the dynamics. Christian Yelich is a mainstay. Oh, that's funny. It was just Wong in a Mariners uniform. And Turing's a guy who's never had. This is legit. Turing is a guy who's never had the shot. He's always been blocked, even in the Orlando. Look at that. Nice fly ball to the track, to the wall. Brian Anderson's going to score. Woo! 5-1, a 5-4 lead. Look at touring all the way to third base. Triple, baby, triple. I think there's these guys and these players, and everybody's got a role to play. And this is where baseball is different than football. It's a dynamic sport. Each and every player and each and every opponent is different. Week in and week out, yes, football teams change. But if you're playing the Vikings next week, it's the Vikings. It's going to be the same Vikings you're going to play later in the season. This Cincinnati Reds team is a different team than we played yesterday. It's a different team than we played the day before. We're a different team than we played the day before. And you've got to just make those changes and make those adjustments. And I think that's huge. Now, when you look at a guy like Weimer. A guy like Weimer was not expected to be a center fielder. I'm naming him as they come up to bat. Weimer was not supposed to be our center fielder. Garrett Mitchell was supposed to be our center fielder of the future. And Garrett Mitchell will get that job back. I have no doubt in my mind that Garrett Mitchell is going to get that job, and you're going to move Weimer to maybe right, see if Frelick can come up and then switch off with Yelly and DH. I don't know. Frelick's not going to come for another month or so. He's going to be September. It's going to be what it's going to be. Last night in conversation, they were talking about Weimer and Corbin Carroll and how Weimer's moving his way up into the rookie home run rankings. And that's awesome. Like, we can only expect so much. It's really funny. That's Cheeto. I apologize. Getting sloppy here. But Weimer's working his way up too. And, they're not going to be all-stars. They're not all going to be, Corbin Carroll out of the gate. But I'm very happy with what Weimer's done. And I think, these groups that we all are a part of seem to just hop on every negative thing that they can find. I put up Richard's comment. I should probably read it here. Whatever changes, Yelly has made it work. Whatever changes, Yelly made it is working. I really had a hard time in the beginning keeping him. I am glad I currently do. Yeah, I saw him on your roster when we started this week, and I'll tell you, quite frankly, I've written out just about every infielder I have, and outfielder, and every position player, with the exception of a couple who've been injured or whatever. I picked up Orlando Arcia in the beginning of this season. And look what he's become. He's an all-star now. He is a regular every day. He's an all-star. He wasn't even slotted to play that position. So you just don't know what to expect from these guys and these players. And Taylor Cruz, ooh, got him. Got Weimer. Yelly. Speaking of the man, let's talk through this live at bat from Yelly. I'm going to do a little play-by-play. Oh, looks like they're going to a reliever. Weaver is out. We've got, I don't know who that guy is. He's pretty big. He's a large man. Number 79. I just think the good, the bad, the downright ugly plays out every day on this field. And you've got wins, you've got losses, and not everybody's perfect. That's the beauty of this game of baseball, and that's the beauty of this thing that we love about that I love about the sport is it's dynamic, it's different. The 1 through 9 is relatively the same group of guys, but it can also be a different group of guys every day, and it can bring you such joy and such pain at the same time. Last night's nail biter. I didn't upload the video. I did one, but I didn't upload it because. It's my life. I'm an Uber driver. Sometimes it's just you got stuff going on. And so one of the things about this is like gut chat reaction. Like I love when it gets a little nail bitey at the end. I love that because it's just not like, oh yeah, we win them all once we get to Devin Williams or once we get to Josh Hader. That was the big thing with Josh Hader too. Like as soon as we got him in, it wasn't an automatic for me. It was not an automatic. I wasn't like, oh, yeah, he's going to win it. And that's part of the fun of baseball. If you don't think that's fun, then you're watching the wrong sport. A little bit of heart palpitations, a little bit of anxiety at the end. is what I go for. Yeah, I do too. Richard says here, in fact, I love the fact that the Brewers are giving the younger guys a chance, and younger guys are performing well. We're in a spot here, and I've talked about a window. I've talked about a window 100 times over. We're in a spot where it's totally different now than it's ever been, because we don't have just a plethora of established guys. We've got all these young guys. And Turing's been one of those guys that's been on the cusp for many years. So, like, to have Turing and now to have Weimer and potentially Frelick coming, and just to see it. I mean, it's a good thing. Christian Yates bomb right here. I'm calling it. Dinger. All right, he waits back on the pitch. He swings. It's a chopper right to the second baseman. Second baseman throws him out. We did score the run, though. Run scored. Nope, we did not score the run. Sorry, that was the third out. I wasn't looking at the outs. I am not a broadcaster. I'm not a play-by-play guy. I could be, maybe, someday with time. So, yeah. Miller not enough of an RBI to make up for the poor fielding at first base. I'd bench Anderson and use Miller as a swing man, right field, and third base. So that is another one of my listeners, Bill from Milwaukee. He's regular of the show, likes to watch the shows. I appreciate each and every one of you that's here with me. I do this for you guys. I want to provide content of, and I've said this 100 times, but I'm going to say it again. I want to provide content where we, the fans, get to enjoy it and hear good, positive things about baseball. You know, I joke and I laugh about it, all the negative in these groups that we're a part of, and I just want it to be fun. I want it to be as fun as I like to talk about it. When someone comes into my car or into my, and talks baseball with me, like if I can just have a 2-minute conversation at a gas pump about what do the Brewers need at the trade deadline? Great question, Richard. That is actually going to be answered, I believe, this Wednesday. Me and Wisco Fanatics. If you know the Wisco Fanatics, we're teaming up to do some podcasts together. Check out that episode. I haven't done all the research. I got some of the research done, but in hindsight, I'm going to say this. I think we need a little bit of help at first base. And I think we need a little bit of help at first base, and then maybe some relief pitching. It just depends on how ready to roll Brandon Woodruff is when we can finally roll him out. If there's a deal out there, if there's a steal of a steal, they're going to find it. They're going to grab it. But that's how I feel. I don't feel we need to get rid of Burns. I don't feel we need to get rid of Woody. I don't feel we need to get rid of Adames. I don't feel we need to get rid of any pieces. I think we need to worry about keeping the whole intact right now. We will ride out. If we can ride this out, if they can avoid the urge to be like, oh, they're throwing all this for us for Corbin Burns. If we can avoid that, we're in a much stronger position to start next season. End of the day, that's what it comes down to. When we're going to come into the season a lot stronger next year because everyone's going to be healthier. And now we're going to understand the new game that is baseball. And we still got Colin Ray out there, who's a guy that's undervalued as it is for what he actually is. We're rolling with a guy like that. So I'm not going to name names, but relief and maybe an infielder or two just to kind of clean up what we've got. Get some regular power in lineup. That's what I will say. I will name names later this week on the collab. It's going to be here on our YouTube channel, but it's also going to be with the Wisco Fanatics YouTube channel. So we're going to do a collaborative stream, much like this, but just more of us on the screen. So I'm actually going to be working on some behind-the-scenes content for those people who do subscribe, who have joined the feed, like my friend Richard here. So if you are listening to this now and you haven't joined up yet, you can join. You'll get to see a little more behind the scenes, a little more content. Richard, that's coming this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I should have something there for you. So that'll be a perk for you and for anyone else who decides to. I think one other gentleman just signed up, but we are just yeah, that was just smashed it. Every team in Major League Baseball has this ability to be this good because it's one day at a time. Like I said, it's a dynamic game. Your game changes. Your players change every day, in and out. Is what it is. I have to show this real quick. So I acquired this from a nice gentleman via the Facebook Marketplace. It is a number 48 Tim Dillard announcer bobblehead. I haven't actually taken it out of the package. I assume the head bobbles. I thought it was. It's a Hall of Fame, National Bobblehead Hall of Fame, which is in Milwaukee bobblehead. So, yeah, I found a guy on. It popped up on my Marketplace feed, and I happened to be in the city, and I was like, hey, want to meet up and I can pick that up from you? And we met down by Marquette, and it was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, it was fun. That's what I love about being a fan, is just the random stuff and things we collect. I am going to go see Corbin Burns, Joey Weimer in the public signing once that happens. Waukesha Sports. If you're going to be there, let me know. I'm excited for it. I love these Waukesha Sports signings. I did the video with the Ryan Braun one. I think that was one of the cooler ones I did. I also did the Wong and Escobar, Devin Williams, Freddie, I think. But I don't know if I did a video, if those are on the YouTube channel, if you've seen those or not. India has always been one of those guys. He's kind of a low-key. He's got some talent to him. I screwed up my back this week, so if you see me adjusting or you see my pad behind me, it's just because I screwed up my back. Oh. I've got Wu going versus Valdez. Oh, my God. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Richard, you may just beat the tar out of me here this week. It may happen. I don't know if I can recover from this. Unless I get 2 perfectos tonight out of my pitchers. Oh. That dangerous pad. I did see something funny. So, remember, is it Ruff? Is that the name of the guy who sliced himself on the pad? Is that Darren Ruff? Am I remembering that correctly? Darren Ruff is actually being paid in full by the New York Mets, and I didn't realize that for this season's baseball. All right, injuries. There we go. I'm excited to see Uribe, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, let's just win this without getting there. Tyson Miller got a DFA, another DFA, and that's funny. Rowdy is expected mid-July. Tyrone's, I don't know. Just get rid of him. I'm over him. Jake Cousins, to be determined. Sosa, to be determined. Late July, early August for Brandon Woodruff. Yeah, that's going to be a while. Justin Wilson is July, supposedly. Aaron Ashby out. Alexander out. Darren Ruff, right knee. Early August, the soonest. Oh, my Lord. I wonder if he got caught an infection on that. Laceration to his knee. Exposed tendons and ligaments. He was stitched up and landed on the injured list the following day. Fractured patella. Oh, God, that just sounds bad. That sounds bad all the way around. Garrett Mitchell we know about. Darren Ruff. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, owie. Owie, owie, owie. That just makes me in pain thinking about it. Here he is. Here's your guy. It's hard. Okay, so like earlier this week, to give you an example, I picked up Cody Bellinger on the Cubs, right? Because I was like, oh, Cody Bellinger's on a hot streak. But the hardest part of being a fantasy owner is watching him play against your team and your roster. So, like right now, I know Richard's got De La Cruz. And you want him to get a hit. You want him to get a dinger. But at the same time, at least an RBI knock, I would want if I was the fantasy owner of this player. But then you're like, oh, I'm rooting against my own team. And sometimes you got to be okay with it. That's the tough part. Sometimes you got to be okay with it. You're like, I want him to get a homer. I want him to get a double on RBI. Score me all the fantasy points. If you play daily fantasy, I mean, it is a grind. And it's a long season. And if you can hold out, I mean, I've held out for 13 weeks now of undefeatedness, and my guy Richard here is just going to obliterate me this week if I don't make a comeback. Biggest surprise so far to me, Richard? I would say Colin Ray and Julio Teheran have been the best surprises and biggest surprises. Christian Yelich's coming to form. I think I knew that he would eventually do it. And I think Colin Ray has been a guy that stepped up in a place where we needed it the most. If you look at the overall of a Major League Baseball team, he was definitely safe. I love Willie's confidence, though. I really enjoy Willie's confidence there, but he was definitely safe. The overall of this game and this sport that we love here is like, guys got to step up. You know, Colin Ray has stepped up now. Okay, he's exiting in the 5th. He's gone to the 7th 2 games in a row. Or not 2 games in a row, but 2 games recently, right? He is the unsung hero right now. Him and Teheran. Teheran has had a great number of outings, of getting outs. And that's the most important part of baseball in the long and short of it is getting outs. Because without hitting, you're getting nowhere. But without getting outs, you're also getting nowhere and you're not winning games. So, yeah, I would say that. I would say right now that the pitching, the starting pitching being as solid as it's been, the quality outings that we're getting day in and day out from these starters. Now, this doesn't fall into the quality outing. I use the quality outing a lot, and I say that a lot, but quality outing is a great determination of how your team, how your starter is doing and how your pitching is doing. Quality outing is 6 innings, 3 or few runs. This on no form would be a quality outing, but that's the measuring yard. That's the stat to use when we're talking about these pitchers and these guys. Offensively, I would say biggest surprise on the offense is the lack of offense by certain players, like a Rowdy Tellez. I would expect Rowdy Tellez to be a little further along, but it is what it is. You know, at the same time, guys are going to go through rough patches. Unfortunately, a lot of guys on our squad are going through a rough patch all at the same time. So that's the hard part. That is the hard core truth fact of what we're dealing with right now. Now, before I brought this up and before we talked about this, we were talking about the rooting for another team's player. And that's always the hardest thing to do, right? Someone posted on Facebook, and I posted an exact answer to this, and a lot of people didn't like it. In fact, people called me ridiculous. When you are a fan of the game, and I'm not talking, I bleed Brewers. I wear it every day, just about. It's on my every piece of my clothing at the current moment, and that's most days. But one of the things I would say, the question was posed, and it was probably in your group, Richard, and it was in a couple other. What is a team you would never wear the jersey of? And I laughed. Because, maybe it's more that way in football. And a lot of the fandom and my ties, and why I say this about football is because this state is a football state at the end of the day. Bryce Wilson. Oh, yeah. I was looking at his hat. His hat's got a funky sweat pattern on it. You would think they'd give him a new hat. But when you talk about what if you really like a player though? Like I can't look at it that way. I can't look at any sport objectively and say that there isn't a team I don't like, a team I hate, and a team I wouldn't wear the jersey of. Because what if I really like the player? If there's a player that stands for something or that is so dynamic, okay, like I think of Jordan for the Bulls. I wore a Jordan jersey. I wouldn't ever wear a LeBron jersey, but I've worn a Kobe jersey. I had a Kevin Garnett jersey. I had a Allen Iverson jersey. These are, so I think about it that way. Like players that I would currently wear a jersey of: Shohei Ohtani, even though he's going to be leaving the Angels. Mike Trout. Over the years, like I think of, like I had a Greg Maddux Cubs jersey back in the day. I had a Brett Favre Jets jersey. I had a Brett Favre Vikings jersey. I fall more in love with the player than the team. I don't blindly, and this is my knock to always on Packers fans, is like they blindly hate anything except for the green and gold. But they don't know enough widespread about the sport of football. Like they don't get into the other teams enough to know. Some people do. I'm not saying everybody, but the vast majority, I feel, doesn't get into it. Like I'm a Cowboys fan. I said that 100 times. I have a Dak Prescott jersey. I have a Ezekiel Elliott jersey, even though he's been cut from the team. Do I have Micah Parsons? I had Tony Romo back in the day. I am ordering a Jets Aaron Rodgers jersey because I like Rodgers. I like the player. I don't necessarily like. I don't need a Love jersey. I don't like Love enough to wear a jersey of him. It depends on the ethics of the team. The Cowboys are a really hard call for me. I don't like their spending money, and but that comes down to. When you say something of that nature, like that comes down to like, look at the bigger picture. Like I'm more of a purist as to like, I like the player, I'm not going to not wear a Dak Prescott jersey because Jerry Owens is a greedy, rich son of a bitch. I mean, there's plenty of those in this world. I mean, we buy LeBron shoes and Jordans, and there's capitalists all over. I mean, it'd be like not buying an iPhone because Apple's billionaires. So I don't look at it that way. They'd be like, and that's more of a whole, I think, of sports. Like I look at it like, okay, I'm going to wear what I like and who I like. And if they identify with something that I identify with, I've had several Yankees jerseys back in the day. I can think of Randy Johnson. Mike Mussina was one of my favorite Yankees. Derek Jeter, of course, A-Rod. And I've had guys that were dirty too. So like, I can't even say that. Like there is nothing out there that I don't think I'd wear. I mean, I've worn Tracy McGrady. I used to have his shoes when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I would buy basketball shoes like it was going out of style. So I can't say that there is anywhere and anybody that I would not don the jersey of. In fact, if I look over my hat rack right now, I have an Angels hat laying in there. I have a Dodgers hat. Yep, Dodgers. Ooh, hated Dodgers. And I also have like I have a Trevor Bauer jersey. I have a Trevor Bauer Dodgers jersey. So I mean, and people hate those guys, but like I identify with something about that player. Actually, there's a picture of Trevor Bauer right next to the picture of Shohei, which is, you can't see it on camera, but it's right back there. CM Punk. CM Punk is a controversial figure in the world of wrestling. I have CM Punk on my wall. I have CM Punk t-shirts. I have John Cena t-shirts. I don't care. I'll wear what I wear. There is not one faction out there that I would not don. One MLB team. Like if there's a good player, there's a good player. Fernando Tatis. I would wear if they were less brown and ugly, I would wear a Fernando Tatis jersey because I like him as a player. I like Bryce Harper as a player too. So that's my thoughts on that. I get everyone has an opinion, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna chastise you because you won't wear a Chicago Bears jersey. Maybe there just hasn't been the guy to come to the Chicago Bears that you don't like, that you like, you know. But yeah, I find that hilarious. I love Contreras. I didn't like his brother. I don't like his brother that much, but I like Contreras. Cardinals would be a hard one to find somebody. If I had to pick a Cardinals player to wear a jersey of, it would probably be Nolan Arenado. That'd be the one guy I'd pick right now. But historically, I've liked Cardinals. Like Albert Pujols, I liked. I never bought his jersey, but I liked him. Willie coming to the plate. He's got 2 bombs in him so far today. Does he got a third? We're gonna wrap this up soon. We're getting almost over 40 minutes here, but we'll wrap this up. Does Willie have a third? He's 1-0 count. He does not. He is dedicated. If you watch his at bats and his plate appearances, he does not look until he's ready to look. He stares forward. He looks at the ref or the ump, looks back at him, and then just, now I'm ready. 2-0 count. Outside. 3-0 count. He's very, I also think here. See, I don't judge it by that. The fans of the other teams, it's, you know, I guess I can't. I mean, I could have a closet full of MLB jerseys. Oh, he got under it. That's not far enough. Damn. Just didn't have enough. Just didn't quite have enough. 5-5 ball game. No outs. There were 2 outs, sorry. I understand where you're coming from, and I can empathize with that, but I just can't I can't see it. I don't see it. Owen. I like Owen too. I mean, there's not a guy on this team I don't really not a guy I dislike, but I've been notorious for buying other teams' jerseys after a player leaves. Lucroy followed Lucroy. My wife had 2 different Lucroy jerseys, Texas and a Brewers, and then she liked Chris Bryant, so she had a Chris Bryant Cubs shirt. Just different stuff over the years. I'm very, very eclectic that way. I even I have a cart full on eBay or not cart, but a recent purchases where I'm I should get this, I should get that. It's all different bobbleheads and SGAs from run it. Oh, you got him. Votto's old, but he's good. He's come back and just looked dynamic and strong. We got 5 runs on 6 hits. They got 5 runs on 8 hits. So we'll see. Guys, thank you, Richard. Always a pleasure to talk to you live. Look for the new content. We're going to talk trades and who I think we should acquire in trades with Wisco Fanatics Wednesday this week. Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. Maybe Thursday of this week. I got to look at the messages and my calendar. But yeah, so let's go Brewers. Let's win this thing 5-5 right now. I've been on for over 40 minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your day. Go Crew. Let's finish this thing off and keep staying in the fight. And we'll catch you next time on the Miller Park Minute. You guys have a great rest of your day. Go Brew Crew.